Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us today for our regular Thursday lecture. I hope that your day is going great. We are thrilled to have you here with you learning more about how to prepare a winning application for US universities. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me just briefly introduce myself. As some of you may already know, my name is Victoria and I'm the outreach coordinator for the Education USA network here in Ukraine. We are, of course, part of the global network of the U.S. Department of State, committed to promoting diversity in the U.S. higher education system and building bridges of knowledge across borders. As the official source on U.S. higher education, we offer accurate, comprehensive, and timely information about educational opportunities in the United States, as well as guidance to qualified individuals on how to best access these opportunities. We understand that the process of applying to the U.S. is rather different from that in Ukraine. So we're here to help you and guide you every step of the way, answering questions from beginning to end. So today we're going to take a closer look at the application process to US universities. If you're interested in applying to colleges or universities in the United States, want to find out how to put together a competitive application package, find out when you should start preparing the application, then of course look no further than today's session, which is specifically designed to provide students with all the tools and tips needed to successfully navigate the university admissions process to the United States. Learn about different types of applications, dates, and deadlines to keep in mind, and of course, how to choose the right university for you. It is an honor to welcome our today's guest speakers, Debra Chang, Senior International Admissions Counselor at the University of California, Irvine, and Reychel Като, Recruitment Specialist, and Amy Cardwell, Director of Global Recruitment and International Admissions at Western Kentucky University, who will walk you through the admission process, share tips on how to ace your university application. Before we get started, I would just like to encourage you to stay proactive and ask lots of questions. We would love to hear from you, so please do not hesitate to reach out and put your questions in the comments below. So without further ado, Debra, I'll turn it over to you. Please take it away.
All right, thank you so much, Victoria, and glad to see everybody, although I cannot see you, but I try to imagine that you're being excited right now and thinking about studying abroad in the US. My name is Debra. I am from University of California, Irvine, being the Senior International Admissions Counselor for Ukraine. So I am your person if you're interested in applying to UC Irvine in the future. And today I'd like to talk a little bit about applying to US universities, and following up, I will talk about applying to the UC, since we share one UC application. There are 9 UC campuses. So if you don't mind, can you please pull up the presentation? Thank you so much. So yeah, I was an international student myself before I started working, so I totally understand, I guess, how you're thinking about universities in the US. I think there are a lot of confusion, questions, but don't worry. We three admissions counsel try our best to offer some advice and tips as you're thinking and planning for life abroad. So this is my presentation's agenda. I will try to be brief and quick, as brief as I can. And first, I'll talk about the nuts and bolts about applying to US universities. And I hope you're liking the blue and the yellow in my presentation, as Victoria pointed out earlier. And I will talk a little bit about, I guess, financing your education in the US. I know it's a very important factor as you're making decisions for studying abroad. And I'll briefly share the higher education system in California and how what are the types of universities that we have. And I will introduce UC application, the key components, what you need to be mindful about. And lastly, I will introduce comprehensive review and the selection process, which can be super helpful as you prepare for studying abroad in the US. I want to use the UC application as an example to, I guess, just introduce some thoughts and offer some thoughts and inspiration for you guys and how you can prepare. If you have any questions, please do. I guess you do have your means to drop your questions in the chat. And that's it. That's my agenda. So applying to U.S. universities, in addition to thinking about GPA, getting a good score during high school, maybe working on your college essays, getting recommendation letters from teachers, or maybe a researcher that you met during your 11th grade. Those are key components as you're thinking about application. But in addition to that, I want you to know yourself. I want you to be doing some soul searching in this process of doing college applications. It's really about making the best use of college time to advance your dreams. So the college is about you. So start with doing some research about yourself, doing some strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, as well analysis that people will usually do in the business world for yourself. And then as you understand yourself, then you can look up different universities in the US and all around the world. Make universities work for you. So I hope this is encouragement to you. The universities all exist to help you advance your dream and your goals. So there are 5 C's that we usually use, at least in my office, when we talk about a university: courses, campus, community, career, and costs. And courses about the academic programs they're applying to, the majors you're excited about. You may have many interests. Maybe you're interested in marine biology, but also you're a dancer, you're very artistic, and that's all great. I think one benefit of studying in the US is that we offer a lot of flexibility for you to change your major, for you to double major, for you to do several minors if you can manage your time well. So I guess you don't have to be so fixed-minded right now. You just start to explore interest and do some research about what each major is about. There are a lot of resources on YouTube, on Google. So do some research about the majors according to your interests. And then campus. So there are a lot of things about campus, I guess campus life. But here I want to talk about types of higher education. There are public universities like the UCs, and there are private universities. I personally attended private university in Boston, and there are great universities. Both are great. It's just kind of different in certain ways. So do your research about types of university. And there are a lot of community colleges in the US, and it's really a great alternative if you want to be more cost effective in your education. You start with community college, then you can transfer to US universities, and most likely you will graduate with the degree from that university you graduate from. And that's a great way to get admitted and save some bucks. And another really important type of colleges is liberal arts colleges. So they do offer more robust and well-rounded education. You kind of explore different disciplines of studies. But I think nowadays, most US universities offer liberal arts approach in the first 2 years. So you do get exposure to study a lot of different classes without determining your major in the very beginning. So just some thoughts for types of university. And in terms of community, it's basically about the lifestyle you're going to choose and people are going to meet through this university, through this community you're building for yourself in the next 3 or 4 years, depending on your personal journey. Maybe you do community colleges and you bring some AP or IB or A-level credits, and that can save your time. You may be able to graduate early, but that's another story. So most likely you would spend 4 years in your future college, and that is your future home for the next 4 years. So you do want to look up the size of the institution, how much population it has in terms of undergraduate student level. For the UCs, we're mostly bigger schools like UCI. We have about 30,000 undergrad students. So that's a larger school, but we're not the largest in terms of the population. And location really matters. Some students, they really love urban. They want to live in the city. They want to be connected to different parts of the city. They want to have a good public transportation system. And some students may prefer a quieter campus in the suburban area. So you do want to do a soul searching, do understand about your personality. Do you want to stay in a quieter, smaller campus, or do you want to meet everybody and enjoy the benefits of having a lot of resources, like having the access to a city? Another part, very important part of a college life is campus life. The dorm, maybe food, sports on campus, events around campus, maybe some live concerts, some art shows. So those are all important. Those are all included in your college life. So do look up the city, do look up the suburban area surrounding your future college. So that's very important. You do want to feel comfortable and excited in your future home. And fourth C is career. You do want to go to college to be exposed to different industries. You want to maybe apply for internships and jobs when the time is ready for you. So do look up the career services that the university provide and maybe the top industries in that city. So you can get a sense of what kind of jobs or internship opportunities you can get if you want to stay closer to campus. But also when you come to the United States, you do have the freedom to apply to different kind of jobs and internships all around the States. So you don't have to stay only around the university town. And lastly is costs and fundings. It's really important. And that's why I'm gonna talk about it. So in the U.S. universities, there are two major types of financial aid. One is merit-based scholarship that's totally based on your GPA and test scores. Perhaps some schools will consider your recommendation letters and personal essays. That's merit-based scholarship. And another type is need-based aid. So that's based on your family income. Maybe sometimes we ask for your tax information. But basically, we want to evaluate your the family income and how much you can contribute. And some university may award you with needs-based aid. So again, you do need to do research for each university, what their policies are and their estimated cost, and do a comprehensive evaluation of own family situations as well, because you do want to be financially responsible for yourself and your family as well. And there are some special scholarships like music scholarship, theater, athletic scholarship. I think that's a major one for a lot of our student athletes from Europe. And some honors program may have their own scholarship, and if you can apply to certain honors programs, they may be able to offer you some certain honor scholarship. And there's kind of special funding for certain types of students. Maybe some university do have scholarship for students from Ukraine, and maybe they're looking for students that demonstrate special talents or leadership or compassion or community service. So those are possible. So do look up the financial aid website of each university you're applying to. And another good means for you to earn some pocket money is on-campus employment. I worked for my professor as a research assistant when I was in school, and I got quite some good income. At least I purchased my first Macintosh with income that I earned from working as a RA. So to look up on-campus employment, I think as an international student, you can work up to 20 hours when the school per week when the school is in session. And if you work in the summer, it may means more hours. So again, ask the financial aid officer or admissions counselor when you apply to the university. And if you have AB, IB, high-level, A-level credits that you can bring to the university, the universities may be able to waive certain college units for you. So that means you can save money and you can graduate early. So if you do have AP scores, IB high-level score, A-level scores, do send them to the university you decide to enroll in, and they may save bucks. And lastly, you can apply through external institutions. I'm not sure. I haven't asked Victoria yet. Maybe Education USA does offer certain assistance. You can apply to College Board or government scholarship. Those are all possible. Try every means, whatever that's available to you. Be creative. And next, talk about California. I think you guys might be quite familiar with California from the movie, from Silicon Valley, all the amazing technology firms in NoCal, maybe Universal Studios. Those are all in California. So there are tons of opportunities in terms of strong economy, leading industries, and cultural diversity. California is really diverse. You meet people coming from everywhere. And it's just great weather. I think we are Mediterranean weather. So never too hot, never too humid. It's very comfortable. I love SoCal weather, especially I think in Irvine, 280 days are sunny weather. So it's even in the winter, you feel like, oh, it's so comfortable. So I guess weather, climate is also one major thing students want to study in California. And it just does offer a great education system and great nature and outdoor activities. There are wonderful sports team if you're interested in basketball. So there's really top basketball teams in California. So you have your own reasons if you're interested in California. So with that, I don't want to talk too much about California, but education. So in terms of higher education, tertiary education in California, there are two types. One is public education, and the other is private education. Under public education, there are three types of institutions, which are University of California. We have 9 undergrad campuses in the UC system, and I think we have 28 CSUs, California State University. So UC offers degrees up to PhD and JD and MD. So those the ultimate degrees of law and medicine. And California State University, CSUs, they are also public university, but they offer up to master's degree yearly in the education field. And California community colleges, they offer associate degree. So you get 2-year education, you graduate, you can start working already. Or if you want to do advanced study, you can apply from community college to the UCs or CSUs. In California, we have really robust transfer systems. So we do, the UCs and CSU were asked to admit certain numbers of transfer students, and we prioritize accepting California community college students. So that's a really good way. It's easier to transfer sometimes than to be admitted as a freshman student. And another type of school is private university, like certain liberal arts colleges like Pomona College, also in SoCal, or Stanford University, just really top university, private university in NoCal, near Silicon Valley. So there are types, a lot of wonderful research institutes, private institutions, or like College of Arts in California. So yes, so there are different types of universities. They're all wonderful. And in terms of the University of California, so we are really one of the largest and perhaps most famous universities, public university system in the world. We have 9 undergraduate campuses, starting from UC Berkeley, I think back in 170 years ago. And the UCLA was founded, and more UC campuses were added to different parts of California. So now we have 9 undergraduate campuses. Northernmost is UC Davis, and southernmost is UC San Diego, across the border of Mexico. All the UCs are really wonderful. I think 5 UC campuses are among the US top 10 public universities, and 7 UC campuses are members of the prestigious AAUs. That speaks a lot about the education quality of the UC campuses, as well as the research and innovation outcome of our faculty, staff, and students. And our students are very entrepreneurial. They are leaders in their industries. They're very well connected. They're nerdy students, but in a very good way. They love studying. They love asking questions. They love innovating and finding solutions to solve world issues. So we offer different types of degrees for almost every discipline. So no matter what you want to study, you may be able to find a UC campus or several UC campuses that offer the major that you want to pursue. So this is UC Irvine. We are in Southern California. We're in between LA and San Diego. And our campus, we have almost 30,000 undergrad students. And among them, 13% are international students, and we hope to increase that number. We hope to bring more diverse population, more diverse backgrounds, perspectives, values, personalities, and excitement to our campus to make the university a more well-rounded and open-minded campus. And some of the top majors are business administration, computer science and engineering, psychology. We also have a very strong criminology, law, and society degree. We have School of the Arts. We have music, we have theater, we have dance, we have arts. So we're not only a STEM school, we do have very holistic kind of approach to our education. So you can still be a dancer while pursuing engineering. You can be an artist while studying business. We allow you to do a major. We also encourage you to try different honors programs. And it just students so friendly, faculty are very accessible, although we are a very big university. Anyways, all the UCs are pretty good. And the good thing of applying to UCs is that you can only use one application and submit your application to different parts of California. So you do have the access to apply to different UC campuses with one UC application. And the good news is that each UC campus will review your application differently and independently. So maybe you have selected 5 UC campuses, but on our end, we won't see them and we will make our own independent decisions. So applying to the UCs, I just want to give you an overview of the minimum requirements. For you guys, you're considered as a non-California resident. You can still have US passport. Those among you, maybe they are US citizens, but since you live in Ukraine and maybe you will finish your high school in Ukraine, you're not in California, you're still considered as non-California resident. And there are 2 types of non-California resident, which are domestic out-of-state students, just US passport holders, and they can be you living in Ukraine, or students who live in Connecticut. And there are international students who are students that need F1 visa to study in the US. You are both counted as non-California resident. And for you guys, the minimum GPA requirement is 3.4, and we will calculate the GPA for you. When you apply, you just need to report your course names and the grades you get for each course, and we'll do the calculation for you. So you don't need to do any calculation. Just report the course name and grades on your transcript by the time you apply. And you need to meet the A to G course requirements. It's very Californian terminology, so don't worry about it. I think most of you, if you can graduate from your current high school, you should be able to meet the course requirements that make you ready for your college, so don't worry. And with the UCs, we are still test blind, so that means we don't require you to do SAT or ACT. Even though you submit them, we won't be able to see them on our end when we review your application. So that saves you time to prepare SAT or ACT. But I don't know if you're also thinking about other universities. You may definitely think about other universities that require SAT or ACT. But with us, we don't consider SAT or ACT. And we don't do EA or ED. So the timeline for us is that you can start your application if you're applying this year, starting from August 1st. And you do have several months to work on UC application, and you can submit your application between October 1st and November 30th. So you have 2 months that you can submit your application, but actually it's, I guess, August. You have 4 months to work on your UC application, and usually the UCs will start to release their decisions from mid-March to early April, and we don't do EA or ED. And these are also some English language proficiency requirements. So if you're studying at a public school in Ukraine and maybe the primary language instruction is not English in your school, then you do need to meet the English language proficiency requirement. For us, TOEFL is 80. And IELTS is 6.5, and Duolingo is 115. So that's not a lot to ask. I'm sure you can do that. And if you're studying at an international school, the primary language instruction is English. And as long as you can graduate from this school and study there for at least 3 years by the time you graduate, you don't need to meet the English language proficiency requirement. But if you came from a public school, you finished 2 years in your public school, and then spend 2 years in the international school by the time you graduate, then you still need to meet the English language proficiency requirements, since you won't have 3 years of education with English as primary language instruction. This may sound confusing, but by the time you apply, you can attend our virtual sessions, and you can still reach out to us on your applicant portal so we can help you clarify about this language requirement. These are A to G course requirements, and social sciences, math, science, natural sciences, language other than English, and visual performing arts. With visual and performing arts, don't worry about it. Not every school can offer a 1 year education in visual performing arts. So with international students, we're more flexible, so you don't have to meet this requirement. Although it will be ideal if you can take 1 year classes in visual and performing arts. And then there are some classes that you take to advance your learning. We call it a college preparatory elective. So don't worry, you can definitely meet these requirements if you can graduate from a school with a good GPA. And this is what UC application looks like. You will need to fill out your personal information, and then you can select your campuses and majors. This is a very smart system. It will give you a map. All the 9 undergrad campuses are listed there. You just select the UC campuses that you like, that have the majors, that have the cultures that you want to explore, and select the UC campuses that you want. And then the system will pop out some other majors for you to choose from. With most UC campuses, you need to select at least one primary major, and then you can fill out another alternate major, and they don't have to be in the same field. You can select business administration as a primary major, and with the alternate major, you can select like biological sciences. It's up to you. And then you will need to proceed with academic history. That's where you fill out your course names and your grades. We will do the GPA for you, and you can fill out your test scores, like maybe A level, maybe IB, or maybe AP, or maybe you do need to meet the English language proficiency requirement. Then you need to report your IELTS or TOEFL, Duolingo in there. And next, you do need to provide your activity awards. So maybe your leadership experiences, you volunteer at community college, or perhaps you take some academic courses outside of school for personal enrichment. You can report all those things there under activities awards. And lastly, personal insight questions. Those are the UC essays. Basically, they're very short questions for you to choose from, to pick 4 from the 8, talk about your leadership, maybe your creativity, special talents, special achievements, like how you contribute to your community, or a subject that you're passionate about. So through this personal insight questions, PIQs, we want to give you an opportunity to advocate for yourself. Since we don't ask you for recommendation letters, there's no second voice to advocate for you, right? So you need to talk about yourself through the PIQs. Introduce your background, share your values, share what you have achieved in high school, why you're interested in certain major, why you think UC can help you advance your dreams and your goals. So pick the ones that you feel most comfortable to talk about, and just they're really short essays. Comprehensive review. So even without SAT or ACT, we have sufficient factors to choose the students that we think they will be happy and thriving at our campuses. GPA is of course important. You need to meet the minimum GPA requirement, but other than that, we want to see your course selection. Are you preparing yourself for your major, or preparing yourself for a career that I mentioned in your PIQs? We want to see how you are managing your time, how you are making use of your time outside of classroom, your extracurricular activities, special achievements, maybe some awards, and if you have any progress in certain subjects. Those are all important to us. And when we read your file, your geographic location matters, because we want to understand what makes you you, right? Your family culture, maybe even just nationwide, there are certain interruptions. But how do you grow out of all these pros and cons in your personal life? We want to hear from you. So please do provide a lot of details to make us understand you better. And just please consider major and campus options. Do, like I said in the very beginning, do research about yourself, understand where you want to grow, understand what kind of campus you would prefer. Do you want to challenge yourself to be more outgoing? So you may want to go to a bigger university, or do you want to just explore different studies in a college without too many distractions personally? And so do understand yourself before you search for different universities. And that's it. So I think lastly, some thoughts for as you prepare for college application, you do want to work hard on your high school courses, but that's not everything. You do want to prepare for a test, but that's not the only thing you want to be mindful about. So stretch yourself outside the classroom, invest in your hobbies, summer activities, do take on certain leadership roles to experience it. And you do want to develop a very well-rounded college list to let the university work for you. We want to help you to be successful. We want you to be happy. We want you to grow. And lastly, if you have any questions, please do attend the university's info sessions. We admissions counselor plan a lot of information sessions for you so that you can ask us questions and learn more about the university and decide whether that's a good fit for you or not. And if you have any questions, maybe that you can drop your questions in the chat. But that's it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great start of your college application year.
Thank you so much, Deborah, for your fantastic presentation. I really enjoyed it. And I would just like to once again reiterate Deborah's call for questions. And you can also scan the QR link in the top right corner and, of course, get all the information and details you would like about UC Irvine. And also, if you have any additional questions, we would love to assist you. You can always sign up for a free consultation with one of our fantastic Education USA advisors. So while we wait for questions, Rachel, Amy, thank you once again so much for being with us today. The floor is yours. Please take it away.
Hello, thank you for having us this morning. It's morning here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I don't know what time it is, about dinner time for you all right now, but we are just starting the day, and we are thankful that you have me and Amy, my colleague, here today. My name is Reychel Като, and I am the Global Learning Recruitment Specialist here at Western Kentucky University. We like to call ourselves WKU. I am joined by the Director of Global Recruitment and International Admissions, Amy Cardwell, and we are going to speak with you today about what it's like to apply to a university like WKU in the U.S. So before we start, we have to brag on our wonderful Ukrainian graduate, Maria Novoselya. She just graduated with the highest honors that you can get in undergraduate academic honors. It's called the Ogden Foundation Scholar Award. So Maria is from Odessa in southern Ukraine. She came in January 2022 for an international exchange program. Unfortunately, a month later, Russia invaded her home country. So we supported many displaced students, and for the past 2.5 years, she has taken advantage of the opportunities and experiences on the Hill. So we are on a hill, our campus, so we like to call ourselves the Hill. And she graduated this spring with a bachelor's degree in journalism, with a minor in political science, and a certificate in organizational leadership. And I just want to read a little bit about what she said about her time here at WKU. My time here has been extremely transformative and just wonderful. The best part, though, is the people that I have found here. My friends, classmates, professors, advisors, the people I stood in line with. They all made every day so special and unique. There have certainly been times when I was not feeling my best, but it was the people around me who cheered me up and encouraged me to keep going. And I cannot express how grateful I am to all of them. Just on a personal note, Maria is so sweet, caring. She's an empathetic person and just an overall good person. And we want to say congratulations to her. I'm going to give it to Amy now.
Hello, everyone. We're so happy to be with you today. First of all, I'd like to extend my thanks to Education USA. I am a huge fan. And students, please know that this is a great resource for you. And, they are experts in the field. And so also, I'm so glad that we're brought together with UC Irvine. We are a completely different school. You get a completely different experience. And when you're searching out and trying to pick out what university you'd like to attend, that is a question you need to ask yourself. What kind of experience do you want? You're going to get a very different experience from the West Coast and UC Irvine than you will here in Kentucky. I think they both have their merits, and they're both, right for different people. It's important that you find out what's best for you. So we'll just talk a little bit about the admission requirements here at WKU. We do not have competitive admission. So our admission requirements, we try to remove roadblocks and hurdles from students. We want to admit students. We want to get them into our campus. So our admission requirements are not competitive. They are, we do have a minimum academic requirement. And so, you have to complete an application. And that is another tip I will give, when you are applying to different universities, make a checklist. Be very clear on what's needed for admission. And mark those items off because, if you're applying to several schools, it can get very confusing. So, make lists, know what the admission requirements are, and, make sure that you are applying to schools that, in which you'll be eligible for admission. There's a photo there, which it may look a little strange with the red towels. But that's actually, we're a Division I school, so athletics are a lot of fun here on campus. And so we had a coach many, many years ago named E.A. Diddle. And he would take a red towel with him to every sports game, and he would wave it around and bite it. And, he really got into it. And so the students saw that, and they started bringing red towels to the games as well. So you'll see many red towels on our campus. That's definitely something that's very WKU. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So there are English proficiency requirements for admission, and that's pretty much across the board in the U.S. Unless you can prove that your high school classes were taught in English. There's a variety of different tests that you can take. We've talked a little bit about this already, but who you're seeing there on the screen is our mascot, Big Red. And Big Red is neither male nor female and is considered the spirit of WKU. So very fun, creative, a little bit mischievous. We just love Big Red, and they're just always there to have a good time at the sports games, which you get into for free if you're a student, any of our sports games.
Mm-hmm. And so we also offer graduate admissions here at WKU. And I encourage you, if you are seeking graduate admissions, to really search out the programs, because honestly, in the United States, it seems like most graduate programs are very program specific on their requirements. Some may require the GMAT or GRE. Some may require a resume or letters of reference. So I encourage you to be, very thorough when you're researching graduate programs, and make sure that you're choosing, the right one. So just keep that in mind.
Once you have been admitted to WKU and we have received proper documentation of your financial records, WKU will issue an I-20. You will then schedule an appointment for your F1 visa interview and make sure to take your I-20 and admissions letter with you. So be prepared to pay a service fee for the interview. If you have any questions about the interview process or need additional assistance, we highly encourage you to reach out to your local Education USA office.
And so that financial support is very important for international students. It's as receiving. Rachel, I think there's something on your microphone, possibly. There's some feedback there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So the I-20 process is just as important as the admissions process for international students, because without that, you will not be able to receive an F1 visa or come to the United States. So we have an estimated cost of attendance, and that includes, tuition, living expenses, mandatory health insurance, and that's not necessarily the amount that you will pay to the university, but that's the amount that is required to be on your I-20. So, and that can be made up through a single bank statement or a combination of bank statements. If your name is not on the bank statement, then it will need to be, accompanied by an affidavit of support. And these are government regulations from the United States. They're not necessarily rules that WKU has made up, but they are rules that we have to follow that are set forth by the government of the United States. And I will say that, your visa interview is very important. You need to let them know why you chose the university that you're attending. Let them know that, that there's a program there you're really interested in, or there's a faculty member that you've been speaking with. Show that you are connected and that you've done your research. And then also you want to prove to them that you're going to go back home and make positive changes there. So I will say that typically when students are denied their F1 visa, it's because they failed to make that connection to back home, because the goal is for you to come and be educated in the United States and then go back home and make changes there in your community. So, and I do think that Education USA is a great resource for this as well. They'll be able to give you some tips and help coach you through that. And then also, I encourage you to reach out to the universities that you are interested in. I know I can speak for our office. We would love to talk to you more about how you can receive your visa. We'll talk you through the I-20 process. We want to be involved in that process with you and set you up for success.
Definitely. And we are constantly recommending people to Education USA. So if you're here, you are already a step ahead of the game. Scholarships are another important part. So you saw on the last slide just an idea of what it would cost to attend Western Kentucky University, but there are additional scholarships if you apply through our Top Dollar portal is what it's called. And then there's academic merit scholarships you're automatically eligible for. So my advice is for you to start applying for these universities as soon as possible, be admitted and start applying for scholarships. Because there are deadlines for everything. This will also help you, as you can see, there's a longer process for international students, and you will need time to get your passport, your I-20, schedule a visa appointment, and so on. So we really encourage you to start early. If you're a junior, it's not too soon to start looking into a university. So that's all we have. Please follow us at WKU Global. That's we just opened up a new TikTok. We have Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook are some of our more popular social medias. And of course, you can email us at the emails listed there. And then I will turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Amy and Rachel, for a very informative presentation. I really enjoyed hearing more about the success of the Ukrainian student on your campus. And Debra, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining it. So let's get down to questions. And we have the first question. So thank you for a great presentation. Are there any scholarships available for Ukrainian students at WKU?
So all international students are eligible for our merit scholarships, and that's based solely upon your grade point average. It's there's no additional application needed when you apply, and we convert your GPA to the U.S. scale. Then if you meet the minimum requirement, then you will receive those merit awards. We do have some deadlines associated with that. So that's why, when Rachel said apply early, and I think, Debra made that same comment, we need to be very mindful of deadlines. And, so we would love to be able to offer those merit awards to you. And then we also have a portal where you can submit one scholarship application, and it will match you to any scholarships for which you might be eligible. So we do have scholarships for all international students at WKU.
Thank you so much, Amy, for such an informative answer. And Debra, I was just wondering, do you have any opportunities or scholarships for Ukrainian students at UCI?
Yeah, thanks for asking me. I forgot to mention about that in my presentation. So unfortunately, UC is the public universities, and so we do not have scholarship for international students, actually out-of-state students either. So I guess you have to apply through external sources.
I see. Thank you for sharing. And another question I very often get asked by students would be about opportunities to work on campus. So I was wondering, can students work on your campuses, and what would be the requirements for that?
Yes. So the U.S. government allows international students to work up to 20 hours a week during the semester. That's not enough to pay for your tuition per se, but it's enough for you to have fun money to be able to buy, go out to eat or buy a ticket to a movie. So you can work up to 20 hours per week, and it has to be on campus. So that's a big requirement. But there's plenty of jobs here available at WKU from anything you want to do related to your major or something a little more fun. We have what's called the Herald. It's our newspaper that a lot of students work and take photos for, write articles, videos, do advertising. So there's lots of different things depending on your interests.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rachel, for sharing some great opportunities. Debra, would you like to add anything from your side?
Yeah, very similar, I think, to what Rachel just shared, that you can definitely work up to 20 hours per week within session at UCI, and we have tons of on-campus employment opportunities for our students. If you're interested in working for admissions, we do hire tour guides and student ambassador in the admissions office. If you want to work for a professor, maybe you apply for a job like a teaching assistant or research assistant or peer tutor. You can work in the library, you can work in the gym, and you can work as a personal trainer even. So there are tons of opportunities. It just you need to be proactive. You need to check the website for updates. So we welcome international students to work on campus.
Thank you so much for sharing some great tips and suggestions for students. So I guess another question that often pops up during consultations would be one about housing. So first of all, are students required to live on campus for the first couple of years of their undergraduate studies?
So at WKU, first-time freshmen are required to live on campus, and there are some instances in which they could apply for a waiver. But honestly, we really recommend that students live on campus that first year, especially. Our campus is sort of like a little city into itself. Everything you need is right here within walking distance, so it really makes things easy, and it also kind of encourages you to really get involved on campus. Which, no matter where you attend school, that's something that you really need to push yourself to get involved and make friends outside of maybe outside of your major. Even it really expands your knowledge and horizons. And plus, we want you to, when international students come to WKU, we want you to share your culture with everyone. That's a very important part of why we like to host international students on our campus. We want to learn about you, and we want you to share your culture, and we'll share our culture with you too. So, but yes, we do have lots of housing available on campus. We have you can even be involved in like living and learning communities. So if you want to live with other people who are interested in agriculture or in business, so you'll live on the same floor together. You'll be in many of the same courses together. You really get to form a little strong cohort of friends and classmates that way.
Thank you so much for your answer. Deborah, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, totally. So I totally agree with Amy. Definitely encourage international students to stay on campus if you can. So at least at UCI, we don't require you to live on campus. So you can choose to live off campus, but we highly recommend you to live on campus. And we have 2-year housing guarantee. So from third year, if you want to live on campus, unfortunately, we cannot guarantee a spot. But for the first 2 years, you can definitely get a dorm. And similarly, we do have learning and living communities for STEM students, for outdoor adventure students, for different types of interests. So we want you to get involved in this community, especially they have so many different perspectives to offer to our students here on campus.
Thank you so much for your answer. And my final question would be a rather general one. So do you have any advice for prospective students who are looking to apply to the US on how they can really perfect their application, or what things are important to think about when preparing an application for US universities?
Well, I think, we've mentioned this, I think, many times. I think it's figuring out what's best for you. We talk about right fit a lot at WKU. We know we're not the right school for everyone, and that's okay. But there are a lot of people we are the right school for. So I think it's knowing yourself, knowing what's important to you, knowing what you can afford, because education in the United States is very expensive. And, that definitely has to play a factor. And I think trying to figure out, do you want more of a small town feel? Would you rather live in a bigger city? There's a cost of living difference associated with that too, that you need to take in mind. I think being very thorough, making a list, creating a special email address that's only for your college application so that everything goes to one place and you can be very organized. And just really being aware of those deadlines, reaching out to resources like high school teachers, Education USA, to read those essays and resumes that may need to be submitted. Just being very thorough and detail oriented in the things that you submit, and just asking questions. That's one of my top tips, is to ask questions if you don't understand something completely, or if you're unsure. I think all three of us, that's our main job, is to answer questions. And so, we encourage questions. So that would be my tips, but I'll let the others share as well.
Rachel, please go ahead. I'll go after you.
I say the biggest thing, and I am constantly recommending people to Education USA. I mean, it is such a great resource for you to be able to talk. They're going to go over those things like your resume or what your visa interview is going to look like. You know, this is such an important step in your young adulthood. And what better way than to talk to people that are experienced and have done this for countless students. I mean, they're the best resource out there, honestly.
Totally. Definitely work with Education USA. They're amazing people, and then they know more universities than I think a lot of us. So they are very resourceful, and then they have better, I guess, advice for you in terms of fit. And I totally agree with, I think, Amy talk about asking questions. That's why we're here. I think with US universities, we are very transparent. So you will find a lot of information on our website, our YouTube channels, maybe TikTok channels. There are students who offer live events in there. So please do engage with us, select the university that you're really passionate about, spend your time wisely in interacting with us online. We do want you to focus on your school and other things as well. And please do reach out to us through emails, or maybe you have your applicant portal, then ask us questions, clarify things. We are here to help you, to support you. We want you to do well. So please don't hesitate to reach out. That's it.
Thank you for some fantastic tips and pieces of advice. I really appreciate you coming here today and sharing these wonderful opportunities with the students. I just want to add that communication is key. So to any of you who are interested in applying to the US, please do not hesitate to reach out, to ask questions, to sign up for a consultation, as Rachel and Amy have kindly pointed out, with one of our lovely advisors. It's completely free of charge, and we are here to help you and assist you on your journey. And just one more question before we wrap up. I see a question in the chat. So can I apply through the Common App?
WKU is on the Common App, yes.
Unfortunately, not with us. We are have our own application platform. It's called UC Application. But with one UC Application, several UC campuses.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for some wonderful tips and advice, and for sharing excellent materials with the students. It was a real pleasure to have you with us. And to our lovely students at home, please keep working on your applications, keep believing in yourself, and of course, tune in next week when we are going to hold our virtual alumni fair here at 6 p.m. Kyiv time. We would love to have you with us. Stay safe and stay with Education USA. Bye.
Bye. Take care, everybody.